I've been lurking on this sub for a while, but I've never posted. Tonight, though, I'm sitting in my childhood bedroom, the one with the creaky floorboard and the faded glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling, and I can't stop thinking about what happened a few hours ago. I need to get this out, even if it's just into the Reddit void. It's long, I know, but bear with me. This is the kind of thing that's been building for years, and I'm still processing it. I'm 34, the middle kid of 5, raised in a loud, chaotic, but loving family in a small town in upstate New York. My parents are the glue of our family, always have been. Mom's the one who'd bake cookies at 2 a.m. for school fundraisers, and Dad's the quiet type who'd fix your bike or build a tree house without saying much. He's not a guy who asks for anything, ever. Growing up, we didn't have a ton of money. Dad worked as a mechanic. Mom was a part-time receptionist. But they made it work. Christmases were always a big deal, though. Mom would go all out with decorations, and Dad would spend hours untangling Christmas lights, muttering under his breath, but never complaining. Dad's got this thing about watches, not fancy ones, just practical, sturdy ones that could take a beating in the garage. He'd always worn this beat-up Timex, the kind with a scratched face and a leather strap that was more duct tape than leather by the end. When I was a kid, I'd catch him flipping through those old watch catalogs that came in the mail, lingering on the pages with the custom engraved ones. You know, the kind where you could put a name or a date on the back. He'd point at one and say, half joking, "One day I'll get a nice one, something with my initials." But he never did. There was always a bill to pay, or one of us kids needed braces, or the car broke down. You know how it goes. Fast forward to me, grown up, living in Philly, working as a project manager for a construction company. I'm not rolling in it, but I do okay. My siblings are scattered, 2 older sisters in Boston, a younger brother in Chicago, and the youngest sister still local, married with 2 kids. We all try to get back home for Christmas every year, but it's gotten harder with everyone's schedules. This year, though, we made it happen. All 5 of us, plus spouses and a gaggle of kids, crammed into Mom and Dad's house, which hasn't changed much since the 90s. Same faded couch, same chipped coffee mugs, same overwhelming smell of pine and cinnamon the second you walk in. I'd been planning this thing for Dad for years. Not just any watch, a custom one. I'd saved up, done my research, and found a small jeweler in Philly who could make exactly what I had in mind. It wasn't some Rolex or anything crazy. It was a stainless steel Seiko, clean and classic, with a sapphire crystal face that wouldn't scratch no matter how many oil changes Dad did. The kicker was the engraving on the back. To Dad from us all, 12/24/2024. I'd coordinated with my siblings to split the cost, but I wanted it to be a surprise, so I didn't tell them until a few months ago. They were all in, but I could tell they thought I was overthinking it. "He's gonna love it, but you're stressing too much," my sister Jen said. Maybe she was right, but this felt like the one shot to get it perfect. Christmas Eve is our big night, always has been. Mom makes her famous lasagna, we play awful Christmas music, and the kids run around like feral gremlins until they crash. This year was no different. The house was packed. My sister's husbands arguing over football, my brother's new girlfriend trying to keep up with Mom's rapid-fire questions, and the kids tearing into early presents like it was a competitive sport. Dad was in his usual spot, the recliner by the fireplace, sipping a Coors Light and pretending he wasn't watching us all like a hawk. He's not big on emotions, but you can tell he loves these nights. He just sits there, quiet, soaking it all in. I'd been nervous all day. The watch was in my coat pocket, wrapped in this little black box with a red ribbon. I kept checking to make sure it was still there, like I was guarding the Hope Diamond or something. My plan was to give it to him after dinner, when we were all opening presents. But the closer it got, the more I second-guessed myself. What if he thought it was too much? What if he didn't like it? What if it didn't fit right? Or he felt weird about us spending money on him? My brain was doing that thing where it spirals into every possible way this could go wrong. Dinner was chaos, as usual. My nephew spilled marinara sauce on the tablecloth. My sister's toddler kept throwing garlic bread, and Mom kept yelling at everyone to eat before it gets cold. Dad just laughed, shaking his head, and I caught him looking at all of us with this soft expression he doesn't show often. That's when I knew I had to do it tonight. No chickening out. After dinner, we moved to the living room for presents. The kids went first, ripping through wrapping paper like it personally offended them. My siblings and I exchanged our usual stuff: socks, gift cards, a bottle of wine for Jen because she's predictable. Then it was time. I stood up, cleared my throat, and immediately felt like an idiot because everyone was looking at me. My brother Mike smirked and said, "What, you giving a speech now?" I flipped him off, which got a laugh, and then I pulled the box out of my pocket. "Dad," I said, and my voice cracked a little, which was embarrassing. "This is from all of us." I handed him the box, and he looked at it like it might explode. Mom was already tearing up, because she's Mom, and she cries at everything. Dad opened it slowly, like he was savoring it, and when he saw the watch, he just stopped. He didn't say anything for a second, just held it in his hands, turning it over to read the engraving. The room got quiet, even the kids, which is a miracle in itself. "Jesus," he finally said, and his voice was rough. You didn't have to do this." He looked at all of us, and I swear his eyes were wet, which I've only seen maybe twice in my life. He put it on right then, fumbling with the clasp because his hands were shaking a little. Mom was full on sobbing now, and Jen was pretending she had something in her eye. Mike, the smartass, just nodded at me like, "Nice job, idiot." Dad stood up and hugged me, which he doesn't do often. He's not a hugger. It was quick, but it felt like he was saying everything he couldn't put into words. Then he went around and hugged all my siblings, even Mike's girlfriend, who looked like she didn't know what to do with herself. The kids broke the tension by demanding to see the watch, and my nephew kept saying it looked like a spy watch, which got everyone laughing. The rest of the night was a blur. More presents, more food, Mom trying to get us to sing carols while we all groaned. But I kept looking at Dad, and he kept touching the watch like he was making sure it was real. At one point, he pulled me aside in the kitchen and said, "I don't know what I did to deserve you kids." I didn't know what to say, so I just shrugged and said, "You're stuck with us." He laughed, and that was that. Now I'm back in my room, typing this on my phone, and I can hear my brother snoring through the wall. The house smells like pine and leftover lasagna, and I'm trying to hold on to this feeling. It's not just about the watch, you know. It's about all those years of Dad putting us first, never asking for anything, and finally being able to give him something that says, "We see you." I don't know if I got it right, but I think he felt it. Anyway, thanks for reading this novel. I just needed to put it somewhere. Merry Christmas, Reddit. TLDR. Gave my dad a custom watch on Christmas Eve with my siblings. A die.